You sit down. Finally, the project is open. The cursor is blinking. You've been waiting for this moment all day. A clear stretch of time with no meetings, no obligations. Just you and the work. Then your phone buzzes. You ignore it. It buzzes again. You glance at the screen. Nothing urgent. Third buzz. You pick it up. 5 minutes pass. 10. You put it down and try to re-enter what you were doing. But something is different now. The thread you were holding, gone. You're back at the surface, and the deep water feels further away than before. Here's what nobody tells you. The interruption was never really the problem. Most people frame focus like it's a weather condition. You either have good conditions today or you don't. The house is quiet, or it isn't. The people around you are considerate, or they're not. Your mood is right, or it's off. This framing feels accurate, it feels honest, and it destroys you. Because as long as you're waiting for the right conditions, you are in a passive relationship with your own attention. You are a passenger, and passengers do not get to choose where the vehicle goes. The deeper problem isn't distraction, it's a belief, specific, invisible, and corrosive, that your focus is something that happens to you rather than something you actively build and defend. Think about how you talk about this. I couldn't concentrate today. People kept interrupting me. I just couldn't get into it. All of that language places you outside the equation. Someone else acted on you. The environment failed you. The circumstances didn't cooperate. And here's what makes this belief so sticky. It feels humble. It feels realistic. It feels like you're not making excuses. You're just reporting facts. But there is a difference between a reason and an explanation. A reason describes what happened. An explanation tells you what to do about it. Most people have plenty of reasons. Very few build actual explanations, ones they can act on. The psychological mechanism underneath this is what researchers call an external locus of control. Psychologist Julian Rotter developed this concept in 1954, and decades of research since have confirmed a core finding. People who habitually attribute outcomes to external forces, luck, other people, circumstances, consistently underperform those who believe their actions directly influence results. Not because external forces don't exist, they do, but because where you place responsibility shapes what you attempt to change. You cannot protect something you believe you have no power over. That's the trap. And most people never name it, so they never leave it. Organizational psychologist Sophie Leroy introduced a concept that reframes everything about how we think about interruption. She called it attention residue. The idea is straightforward, but the implications run deep. When you switch from one task to another, even if that switch lasts just 30 seconds, part of your attention doesn't follow you. It stays behind. It lingers on the thing you just left. And while that residue sits in the background of your mind, it actively degrades your performance on whatever you're doing now. This is not a metaphor. Leroy's research, published in 2009 in the journal Organizational Behavior and Human Decision Processes, showed that people who switched tasks before completing them demonstrated measurably worse performance on the new task. Their minds were still processing the unfinished work. The brain doesn't simply toggle off one thing and toggle on another. It doesn't work like a light switch. Now apply this to a normal workday. You check your email between tasks. You glance at a notification mid-project. You step away for a brief conversation and come back to the work. Each one of those micro switches leaves residue. By early afternoon, you're not operating with a full mind. You're operating through layers of incompletion. And the cruel irony is that you feel like you're staying on top of things. You're being responsive. You're staying connected. But cognitively, you are working harder for diminishing returns. You're burning fuel and going nowhere near as far. Leroy's research also found something important about how we make this worse. When we know an interruption is coming, when we're anticipating a meeting or a notification, we preemptively avoid deep engagement. We don't let ourselves go deep because we know we'll have to come back up soon. So we stay shallow. We protect ourselves from the disappointment of being pulled out by never going in. Read that again. We protect ourselves from interruption by interrupting ourselves first. That is not a distraction problem. That is a self-protection strategy that has turned against you. You've been waiting for an environment that will finally let you do your best work. A quieter apartment, a better desk, a job where people respect your time, a season of life with fewer demands. That environment is not coming. Or if it does come, you won't recognize it, because you'll have spent so long adapting to fragmented conditions that deep focus will feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar. The people who do focused work consistently are not doing it because their circumstances are better. They have simply stopped waiting for permission from their circumstances. Conditions are raw material. You are the craftsman. Waiting for better material is not a strategy. It's postponement dressed up as patience. Protection is not about eliminating all distraction forever. That's not realistic, and pursuing it becomes its own form of procrastination. What you can do, starting today, is protect a single hour. 1 hour, closed applications. Phone in another room, not face down on your desk, in another room. A single task written on paper before you sit down, so there's no decision to make about what you're doing. Most people have never experienced what 60 uninterrupted minutes of focused work actually produces. They think they have, but they haven't. Because every session they remember was quietly salted with small interruptions they didn't count. Do this for 1 hour, and you will likely accomplish more than you did in the previous half day. Not because you worked harder, because you stopped hemorrhaging cognitive fuel through invisible leaks. A protected hour is not a luxury. It is a demonstration to yourself that depth is possible, and that you are the one who creates it. There is a cost that attention residue extracts that never appears on your to-do list. It's not just lost productivity. It's the slow accumulation of a feeling, vague, persistent, exhausting, that you are always working but never finishing. That feeling is not a character flaw. It is a mathematically accurate reading of your situation. You are always working. And because your attention is always partially elsewhere, you are rarely completing the cognitive loop on anything. Nothing gets the full processing it needs. Everything stays slightly open. Psychologists who study the Zeigarnik Effect, named for Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, who found in the 1920s that the mind clings to unfinished tasks more persistently than completed ones, describe this loop as cognitively expensive. Open tasks demand background processing. They sit in mental RAM. The more of them you carry, the more drag you feel on everything else. Fragmented attention doesn't just cost you output, it costs you the feeling of completion. And without that feeling, it becomes very hard to rest, to be present, or to trust that your work means anything. The exhaustion you've been calling laziness is the weight of everything you've left unfinished in your own mind. No one at your workplace is responsible for protecting your attention. Your phone manufacturer is not responsible. The people who text you are not responsible. Even people who genuinely love you will interrupt you without hesitation, because they're operating from their own needs, not a map of your cognitive state. This is not a complaint. It's just accurate. The world is not organized around your focus. It never was. Every system you interact with, social media, notifications, open plan offices, group chats, is designed to pull your attention outward and keep it moving. You are the only agent in your life whose job it is to push back. Waiting for others to protect your focus is like leaving your front door open and wondering why it's cold inside. Nobody is coming to close it. That is your door. That is your job. The moment you accept that, fully, not partially, something shifts. Because you stop being angry at the interruptions. You start being strategic about the structure you build around your work. Anger is passive. Structure is active. And structure is the only thing that actually works. Here is one concrete thing you can apply today. Not this week. Today. Before your next work session, Write down one sentence on a piece of paper. What you are doing and when you intend to stop. Not a task list, one sentence. I am writing the first draft of this section until 11 o'clock a.m. Then set your phone to Do Not Disturb. Put it in a drawer and close every application on your screen that isn't directly related to that sentence. Sophie Leroy's research on attention residue shows that pre-task completion, finishing or deliberately pausing a task with a clear mental marker, significantly reduces the residue it leaves. The brain needs a clean stopping point. Without it, the previous task keeps pulling. When you write down what you're doing and when you're stopping, you are giving your brain permission to be fully here instead of partially somewhere else. This is the shift. Stop treating focus like something you sustain and start treating it like something you engineer. Engineers don't wait for favorable conditions. They design systems that produce reliable results in imperfect conditions. You can design this today with a piece of paper and a drawer. You sat down. The project was open. The cursor was blinking. 3 notifications in 5 minutes. You picked up the phone. The thread broke. That moment was not a failure of willpower. It was the absence of a structure you hadn't yet built. There was no drawer for the phone, no sentence on a piece of paper, no clear boundary between you and the noise. Now you know what that structure looks like, and more importantly, you know who builds it. Nobody is coming to protect your focus. There is no perfect morning, no silent office, no considerate world waiting to give you the conditions you need. There is only you, deciding that the work matters enough to defend. Depth is not a gift, it's a decision. Make it today.